something. Go. Then I'll upload my thumbnail, and then we'll just wait a couple minutes, and then we'll get started. I hope you get a kick out of this thumbnail. It's very simple, but I think it's funny. Yasak, what's going on, man? How are you? Welcome in. Guys, we have a different video today. You're going to see how this is going to unfold. I kind of hinted at this last weekend while playing Elden Ring, and we'll dive into it here in a minute. We're gonna wait for everybody to come in. Wait for who? The real ones are already here. Clippin, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I had a weird weekend. It was a good weekend. It was a weird weekend, but things were good. Yeah, we'll wait like 5 minutes for people to come in, and then we'll get started.
Work goes smoothly when you know the right steps.
Had to make a little joke seeing one viewer at the time. You were right in, dude. You were the first one in. That's funny. You don't play ESO anymore? My streamer's washed? Oh, man. Well, I am washed. I'm definitely washed. What's going on, Dal? How are you? I watched it all go down live and even partook a bit. Excited for your point of view on everything. Oh, so you already know. Okay. Okay. Oh, well, this will be funny then. Just trying to check notifications, and when I tapped off the screen to pull down the notification for this, popped up and pulled me in. Well, excellent. You came to the right spot. We have some interesting drama that's happened over the years. Well, yeah, I think we're good to go. I'll start with my intro for the overall stream, but guys, we're gonna go into detail on this. I have a very different and interesting video to share with you guys, and it's for a lot of good reasons. There's a lot of good reasons for why I'm gonna be sharing this with you guys, and you'll see as we get into it. But from my perspective, over the last year, I have been getting very weird messages. I didn't know where they came from. I wasn't sure what was going on. I wasn't sure if it was some sort of bit. And then as we dove into it further, I was like, wow, this is a lot more serious, and I'm gonna be not involved. But it still just keeps happening. And it's happened every couple of months, and it's happened to friends, and then all of a sudden this weekend, a whole new part of the story appeared, and I was like, okay, this has to be talked about. I need to get to the entire base of this story. I need to figure out where this is all coming from, unlock like the hidden secret story that nobody knows. Apparently I have an alter ego, and apparently I'm the alter ego. This account of mine is an alter ego that was created years ago to play a game anonymously behind somebody else's back. And we're trying to dispel all of that nonsense and also just kind of talk about what's going on. But yeah, my YouTube audio is bugging. Uh-oh.
Thanks to my Fiverr team, I can create unique, personalized designs faster and more.
Is my YouTube audio bugging for people?
With freelancers.
Is this the hot and ready stream? Yeah. It's crackling. Okay. Maybe try refreshing and let me know if it's better. Because if it's crackling on YouTube, you can hear me fine. Okay, it might just be an individual thing. It might be, I don't know. Jamation, Elijah, what's going on? But yeah, so I've been accused of being a cheater, a hacker, having an alternate account, being a different person, and I didn't know where it came from. And turns out this person that I'm accused of being, he reached out to me this weekend. And it was really weird. I was like, holy shit, this person actually exists. And so we got to talking over the weekend. Seems like a cool guy, and he's actually here on the stream. And we're just going to talk about our points of view of what has gone on with the story. We'll wrap everything into a bow at the end and kind of just talk about everything that's happened. Because, yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, we talked about it last week as well. But there was a huge story that came out where a man got upset over a video game and went over to a guy's house and tried to bludgeon somebody with a hammer. And so when somebody starts schizo posting and posting weird stuff about revenge and everything, it kind of gets your attention. And so hopefully this person sees this and realizes that whatever's going on in their mind isn't really the case, but you know, that's where we're at. So yeah, that's going to be the intro. There's a lot of interesting details. Some of it's funny, some of it I don't know if it's very funny. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I have Ill-Fated here. Ill-Fated also occasionally streams on Twitch, plays Destiny 2. Not a game I've ever played before, but yeah, Fated, what's going on, dude? Yeah, so I played the first one. So I didn't tell you this. I wanted to get your initial reaction, but I used to play a lot of shooters as well. I was big into Halo 3, which is kind of funny when you brought that up. But it was Halo 3, Gears of War, and then Modern Warfare 2. And I stopped playing shooters around Black Ops 2. Like around Black Ops 2, I just kind of stopped playing because I used to play them a lot, but I just got... It's been a while. I played Helldivers this year, but I don't think that really counts as a shooter. So, I mean, it is, but it's not a PvP shooter. So... Oh, is he muted? Can you talk again? Oh, you are muted. 1 second, guys. Okay, 1 second. All right, try it again.
This guy's definitely convinced, dude.
There we go. I'm just over here talking to myself. Yeah, it works now. Okay, there we go.
All right, cool. Yeah, I can hear myself, so we're good. Yeah,
right,
so go ahead with your bit. So you're talking about how you used to play Halo 3 and Modern Warfare, and you kind of dropped off in Call of Duty.
Yeah, and then ESO came out, and I got into the Elder Scrolls Online, and I enjoyed that so much because, from my perspective, shooters that although they were fun, like they didn't last as long as like a good MMORPG from a PvP perspective. And so right. I just played ESO for like 7 years, and honestly, like my shooting skills have just dropped down to nothing. Like they're you don't play for a while, you lose it. But I'm not against playing shooters, but I just haven't.
To be fair, you really don't need a whole lot of skill to play Destiny. It kind of aims for you these days. I'm gonna be real with you.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I got a few friends that played and they enjoy the PvE. Thank you for the $5.
Definitely should get involved with the PvE portion, at least at minimum. About a year ago, I probably couldn't recommend the game to anybody, but like I was so addicted that I couldn't turn it down. But yeah, the game where it's currently at with the final shape, I feel like it's probably one of the better times to get involved with the game. The PvE is phenomenal. The PvP is looking like it's in a better place. It's
Cool.
not where so PvP is kind of my bread and butter. I have a competitive history. I used to compete in Halo 3, and that's where I met the individual that we're going to talk about. But anyway,
Okay.
We'll talk about that here in a second. And I just have a love for PvP and kind of cultivated talent show the community into a place to be where content creators can meet other content creators in a like-minded scene with other like-minded people, and collaborate and grow their channels and brands respectively.
Sure. No, that's great. It was funny because I shared the conversation with a few of my moderators. One of my moderators plays Destiny. They're like, I know who this person is. It's nuts that it's actually happening to this specific person. So, but yeah.
Funny.
Where should we start? Should we start? I think we start with your side because you predate what happened with me.
That's kind of where it started. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it started. Okay, so this individual, he goes by a different name now, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and name drop the name. His name is Sinless. He was kind of my practice noob back in the day when I practiced in Halo. Like, being a 6-year-old mindset, you're not really wholly convinced. Like you're getting shat on the whole entire time, but like you're playing with like semi superstars in that scene. Not that I'm trying to say that I am, but like your brain kind of works differently when you're playing and getting shat on. You're like, yeah, I played with so and so for 5 hours, even though I was getting my ass beat in. Like, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, but like that's kind of where I knew him from. He is a good guy, so I'm not trying to like use this stream as to like attack him directly, but a lot of the stuff I'd feel like is important does need to be discussed.
Yeah.
So I stopped talking to him, I guess shortly after Halo 3 Halo Reach came out. He just kind of faded off into nowhere, and about in 2019 he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to play. He reached out. I can't really pull up my Xbox app. I'd screen share for you, so I can't really pull up that content. He asked to reach out to play with me, and I said sure. We played a little bit, and we just kind of fell off, stopped talking. Well, I moved over to PC. I no longer get Xbox messages like that, and I don't check them regularly unless I'm playing an Xbox game that involves me to interact with the Xbox game bar. So he messaged me in last year, a little over a year ago in April of 2023, saying, hey, do you want to play a game? I didn't see the message initially, but I didn't respond, to be blunt with it. So the very next day he says, sorry for bothering you, Mr. Big Time Streamer Fast Food Worker Man. You're clearly my superior, LOL. You send me some message to play. Honestly, I always pitied you for living such a sad life. It's crazy how narcissistic you are. So I believe this kind of stemmed from a place of me kind of accidentally egoing him. I didn't mean to ego him, but like I feel like that's kind of what, sparked the flame, so to speak.
Sure.
And that's kind of where it started. I didn't know about no one until I guess towards the end of last year, towards the beginning of this year. And
okay, so like 7 months ago too.
Yeah. So like he kept telling me on Facebook, because we were Facebook friends, how I'm trying to parade myself as is there no one else? And at first I didn't think you were a person. I just figured you're another attempt at trying to cancel me or whatever the fuck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He used he screen grabbed a picture off of a stream I did like 7 years ago and used that as the profile picture. It's not a very flattering picture. I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's not flattering. But
I've seen it.
He used the profile picture as the means to try to convince people it was me. I guess that's what his end game was. And he kind of made a fatal error and forgot to change the name to the account, so I knew immediately it was him because again I was friends with him on Facebook.
Yep.
And that's kind of where my story kind of stopped until like recently. He's been kind of messaging me for the past like 4 or 5 months, just adding me on Twitter. And I finally decided to bite, I guess, this past weekend. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where me and no one kind of met up.
Yeah. So, okay. That connects a lot of things. So you guys had a huge falling out a while ago, years ago, and then it's kind of resurfaced in the last 2 to 3 years. I don't think I put here. Let me grab it real quick. So here's what happened from my perspective, guys. Like we all play PvP games. I'm sure all you guys in here, I mean, if you follow me or if you follow Faded here, you play PvP in some shape or form. And typically when you have like long-standing beef, it goes both ways, right? Like typically maybe one side is more guilty than the other, but you both have your hand in the entire situation. This guy, at the time, he was going as Sinless on Xbox, and
that's
his
when
name,
I knew him as well.
Yeah, and so he went as Sinless on Xbox, and long story short, I encountered him around a keep, and it was a PvP fight, and it was him and another guy, and I killed his friend, and then he killed me. I was just low on resources. He got the best of me, whatever. Like I didn't get a 1v2, but he messaged me. And if you guys have been on Xbox, you know that your friend messages go immediately into your inbox. Your non-friend messages go into the other inbox, so you can proceed to add it if you want to later. And so I have those muted because I don't want to deal with messages while I'm PvPing. Like I don't get the alert for it. I have no notifications on. And on the other hand, even if I did see this at the time, I wouldn't have responded because a few of my friends have gotten into shit-talking conversations with this guy already. Like, they die in the game, he talks a bunch of shit to him. It's not something I like to engage in. And so, in this specific case, he killed me in-game, and he told me that he liked my videos, and I didn't respond. And so, I will be fully upfront and transparent with you guys. Like in other cases, I've talked to people, they've said some words to me, I've said some words to them, called them bad at the game. But in this one, I just didn't respond to this person. And so this is how this started, was from my perspective, was 4 years ago. After that happened, he posted this clip to Xbox has this group expose page to where you can post clips of killing other players. And, for clout, he edited out the part where his friend died and he killed me 1v1 and, tried to post it as a thing. And it was like, okay, man, whatever, you got me. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. And so that's how it started. And I saw it and I responded. I was like, man, you didn't kill, good fight. You didn't kill me 1v1. It was a 1v2, but you got me at the end. Like, good job. But when he realized he wasn't getting attention from me, he then tried to get the attention of this kind of popular girl PvPer at the time, and he was just running her down and killing her in game with multiple people. So in this game you can run with 20, 30, 40 people, and he was just steamrolling her with 10 people at the same time. And then he was posting these clips of this person dying, and then he's teabagging him, and he's talking about how bad she is and all these other sorts of things. And it's clearly he was looking for attention, right? He didn't get the attention from me, he moved on to somebody else, and so all this escalated. The reason I'm backing this up is I want to explain where his mindset is, I think. And so he does all this, and he then calls her trash. She challenges him to a duel. They go to Alakir Desert and ESO to go duel. And everybody that's in the group page has been so annoyed with this guy spamming the most worthless videos you could imagine. Imagine headshotting an ad in Halo and posting it and just annoying people with the update. This is what it's like, right? And so this is the equivalent of that. And so people were mad and they're like, I want to kill this guy too. I want to kill him in game too. I want to duel him. So 30 people showed up to duel this guy, and they proceeded to, every single one in the game beat him. Every single person that showed up to duel killed this guy. And he then just stopped posting for 3 or 4 months. He literally disappeared. And so it was he was looking for attention, got the attention he wanted, didn't turn out the way he wanted, and then he logged off. And so that was the end of my Sinless story. And so I've never responded to the Sinless account, not on Xbox, nothing. I haven't done that. But what I didn't know,
this is the Sinless account, by the way. The Not a Chat account is the original Sinless account. And he did try to get me to go play ESO with him. He's been trying to convince me since 2017, 2018, hey, you should come check out ESO. So I feel like that's where he probably feels like I've been stalking you, because or I've been you stalking him, however the hell you want to say it. I don't know. Anyway, he probably feels like I've been stalking him as your alias, supposedly. or allegedly,
Yeah.
because he invited me to come play with him. I turned him down, and now like we'll dive into it at the end with the bow at the end, but like I feel like this is where it's kind of like his brain kind of clicked and drew all these connections that don't exist. I feel like this is kind of where the start of it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so I haven't responded to the Xbox account because I've perceived this account, this person, as somebody looking for attention. And so I don't respond to it for that reason. And I'm just like, okay, I have no interaction with you. I've messaged one thing on your wall. That was it. But what I didn't know is he doesn't go as Sinless on YouTube. And so he used his real name. And so I didn't know that the Sinless account was this person that was talking shit to me on YouTube. And so from my perspective, so this happened back in 2020, 2021, things went on with my life. Now, this time last year, it was actually 4th of July weekend. And so during 4th of July weekend, I go on and I check messages, and for those of you guys that don't know, if you go into YouTube and you go into your messages, you have a filters page where it'll catch random swear words. So if somebody swears or something, it'll catch the filter, and sometimes it'll catch really light things and you just approve it and move on, or it'll catch spam. And so I hopped on, and this person decided to went off on multiple different videos of mine at 3 a.m. on the 4th of July. And I was immediately perceived it as, okay, somebody had fun on the 4th of July. They had a few too many alcoholic drinks, and they decided to go to YouTube to talk some shit. I wouldn't go to YouTube to talk shit. I would go somewhere else, but that's what this person chose to do. And the thing is from my perspective, I hadn't played ESO in 9 months. I hadn't played the game. And so this guy tweets out, "You're a cheater, fake as fuck, toxic as fuck, and a complete fraud. And your builds are all trash because you use 5.56x3 your entire ESO career." I don't know what 5.56x3 means, but and then I posted something else, and then he wrote, "How about not using double stats, you bumfuck?" So basically accusing me of cheating in the game. And so I posted this, and I was just like, guys, it's 4th of July. I'm not playing this game. Why are people sending me hate messages over a game I'm not even playing? It's kind of ridiculous, right? And so that's what happened during the 4th of July. And he commented, he's like, "You're still a cheater." And he said something like, "Bless you too." And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. We move on. And so I've assumed this Sinless person and this person are two different people this entire time. And then I have a few moderators that still play ESO, and they sent me some stuff, and they're like, "Hey man, are you on Xbox?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he goes, "Well, there's somebody on EP going around as your name." And so my name is there no one else on Xbox, and there's an Is There No One account. And on PC, I have a Frank on PC account. So the reason for this is people that would read my name in a guild that I was in, they're like, "Dude, I'm not saying that out loud. Every time I want to talk to you while we're doing a raid or something, I'm not going to call you Is There No One Else. I'm just going to call you Frank." And it just stuck. So I had 100 people in this guild that would be like, "Hey Frank, what's up? How's it going, Frank?" And so it was just funny. It was like that was the going thing. They're like, "You're just Frank now," because it's so much easier than saying your name. I'm like, "Okay, I'm Frank." And so on PC, I changed my name to Frank on PC. And so that's where Frank came from on my perspective. But this guy changed his character account name to Frank on Xbox, and then he changed to my Is There No One account. And I knew who this was. My moderators were like, "Yeah, this is Sinless. Sinless is pretending to be you." And they posted up, these are a couple different images, my bad. But he's in guild chat, or he's in area chat, and he's like, "I get along with people like me very well. I'm a stalker." And then he just basically says, "I'm so tired of showing the lines of people asking for my builds," basically pretending to be me. And he's like, "Hello everyone, I'm Is There No One Else, and on today's video we're going to talk about cheaters." And it's just all this sorts of thing. And so I knew that Sinless has been pretending to be me on Xbox. And keep in mind, this was last year, this was last fall, and at that point I hadn't been on Xbox in 3 years. And I hadn't been playing the game for a year. And so I'm just like, okay, I mean, if you want to be me, go ahead. I don't give a shit. I'm not playing the game. And so I knew Sinless was copying my name and stuff, but then it proceeded to get weirder. Weirder in the sense that he messaged one of my friends. I think it's this one. And so he messaged Blap. And for those of you guys that don't, this is really zoomed in. Hold on, guys. I'm really sorry. Let me zoom this out. But he messaged Blap, and this is apparently, if you're looking at the stream, this is apparently your profile picture from 7 years ago. which we'll get into.
That is, yeah, that's from when I used to stream 7 years ago.
Yeah,
and he ripped my picture. He ripped my picture from a stream picture and put it as that account. So what he's doing here essentially is role playing as me, cosplaying as Frank here. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah, and so he messages Blap on Xbox and he goes, "Hey bro, long time. What's the new set? Sorry, we're all using." Ignoring the use of "were" instead of "we are," but regardless, like he thought his like little thing was so good that he was gonna message like one of my really good friends on Xbox. This is October 19th, 2023. Like, "Hey man, what's that secret set we're all using?" Like thinking that we talk about sets and DMs or something. It was really weird, and it was like, I don't know. The comparison I gave is like, you know, those fake Halloween glasses where you have the Halloween glasses, the nose and the mustache. Like he was pretending to be another person to try and get it from it. Like that's how I pictured him trying
to. The meme that he posted on the Twitter feed, dude, where he's like, I'm the Homer guy, or whatever he posted, dude.
Yeah,
that's
the guy
exactly
incognito.
This is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So this happened last fall, and so Blap sends this to me, and he's like, "Dude, I don't know what's happening here." I'm like, "Yeah, this guy's pretending to be me. It's not a big deal." And then I got a message from this other YouTube content creator, and so he messages this to me, and I wish I could zoom. Let me zoom out a little bit farther. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make sure everybody can read it, and a lot of the other stuff is a lot smaller, and this one isn't. So yeah, so he tweets this, he messages this to me. He goes, "Else, what's up? It's Area of Effect, Xbox NA. We played together the other day, and I mentioned the channel. You were featured in my latest video as we stomped our way to a PvP victory. Just giving you a shout out and letting you know I mentioned you in my notes as featured. The video is here." So he sent me a link, and he said, "Thought I had subbed before, but made sure to now. If you haven't already, swing by and poke around the channel. Keep up the good work, my friend." And so I got this 7 months ago. So, well, yeah, this was last fall. So this is like 10 months ago now, and I'm not playing. And so I responded. I'm like, "Hey man, checked out your channel. Wanted to say nice build, very unique, great editing. Like it was a very well done video. So I wanted to give him the attention that it's due." And I said, "Keep up the good work. Like if he keeps doing videos like this, he's going to go somewhere." And then I wrote, "The guy in the video is not me though. I haven't been on Xbox in 2 years. My Xbox account name is the same as it is here on YouTube. I'm not sure why he wants to impersonate me, whether it's just as a joke or to hide his old name that challenged 30 people in Alec here and lost every single fight. I do not know. Either way, I thought you should know, and I wish you and your channel nothing but the best." But let him know like it wasn't me. And then talk to him later and mention on my channel that there's someone on Xbox impersonating me. And it's not me. Like, don't think it's me. It's somebody else. Don't worry about it. And I asked if they were pretending to be me, and he goes, "Not directly, but they certainly tried to act like me," which I don't know what that means. But so I'm assuming it's play terribly. That's probably what he was doing to impersonate me. He was just playing really bad. But yeah, so all this happened last fall, and it was really interesting. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, the sinless guy's copying my name. And earlier this year in January, I was doing Ashes of Creation content. It's another game I'm excited about, and I'm talking about an upcoming game. And on this game, or on this video, I have a pinned comment. And this is all deleted now, guys. I have blocked them from the channel, so if you want to go back and read the comments, they don't exist anymore. So I'm just letting you know, like, don't go back and try to find this because it doesn't exist. But at this point, he goes, "Good video, James Todd DeCazo, who lives in Texas and works for Little Caesars Pizza." Now, guys, I want to be clear. If you can hear my voice right now, I do not sound like a Texan. I don't think I sound at all like somebody from Texas. So I think most people have an idea of like the region I'm from.
That's kind of insulting.
No, not.
Just kidding, man.
No, I don't think I sound like a Texan at all. And so
do I sound like a Texan?
You do.
Oh, that's rude. All right, I'm gone. Good night, guys.
But yeah,
anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
So I see this. He goes, "Good video, James Todd DeCazo, who lives in Texas and works at Little Caesars Pizza." I wasn't sure if this was like a reference to a TV show or something. I wasn't sure if this was like some guy randomly like this happened.
That's me, by the way.
Yeah, like close to. It's not you, but it's close, right? And so yeah,
it's close.
Yeah, and so I'm reading this, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play along, right? The last time I had an interaction with this guy was 5 months before, and I forgot. I forgot the 4th of July interaction I had with this person. And so I just thought, I was like, okay, somebody's shooting the shit with me. Like, what's going on? I'll play along. Let's see what the punchline is, right? That was my perspective on this. And he writes this, and then I wrote, why do you have to dox me like that? And he goes, because you're a content creator that doxes people you're jealous of. And I was like, okay. And I wrote, who am I jealous of? And he goes, anyone that isn't an incel like you, James. You're the most pathetic ass dude I've ever met, and you get away with a lot. Before I realized you were an enemy the entire time. I'm going to destroy you publicly. I hope you know that, Frank. I was like, okay. And I go, and then he goes, you ever see that video of Joe Rogan confronting Carlos Mencia on stage for being a fraud, James? Treat that video like a crystal ball in your future. For those of you guys that don't know.
What the hell?
Yeah. Carlos Mencia was accused of stealing jokes way back in the day. And so he's basically going to accuse me of stealing a bunch of things. And so he's going to out me. And so now I'm just curious. And so I'm like, this is a rabbit hole I've never experienced before. Let's dive further down it. I'll play along. And he writes, yeah, you go by all those names, James. Anyone can recognize that you and ill-fated are the same loser incel. I should have known right here, but
That's
I mean, yeah, he sent so many things. I glossed over the ill-fated part. I literally just glossed over. I never saw before, and I was like, okay, whatever. Then he writes, you play the. I don't know if these are all in order, but you guys will get an idea. It doesn't really matter if they're in order. It's just insults. But he goes, you play this confident stalker, bro. Wait until the larger audience that aren't MMO incels catch wind. People don't like weirdo stalker incels with multiple identities, James. It's fucking weird as hell. And then I wrote, who am I stalking now? I don't think you know what words mean, because like he's accusing me of like having a separate account, and now I'm stalking people. And from my perspective, I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like I'm now into like this tornado of goofy shit. And then he goes, do a face reveal, Frank. And you know, anytime you have somebody accusing you of being a stalker and they want to expose you and they want to do bad things to you, the obviously the first thing you jump to is like, yeah, I should expose my face. Like, this is exactly what I should do. And he goes, what? That would surely prove me a delusional liar, James, if you did a face reveal on your own channel here. Or did you forget that revealing your identity was going to have to happen one day? And I wrote, look, man, I'm not trying to post something you can laminate and hang over your bed. This was the... Yeah. There's no justification for this. I was egging him on at this point. I was like, you doxed me. I'm looking forward to these guys.
I definitely was guilty of egging him on the Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter thing. Like I was genuinely trying to like reach out and like touch it with the hand of kindness, but like at a point I just like gave up and had fun with it.
Yeah, this was the point for me. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm just whatever. And then he goes, listen, James, everyone has spoken to a catfish on Snapchat. I'll be honest, guys. I have never spoken to a catfish on Snapchat. Okay, so I don't know what this guy's going through. If you guys have, and I'm like in the minority here, let me know.
This guy's like self-exposing right now, dude. He's projecting so hard.
It was crazy. He's like spoken to a catfish on Snapchat. I'm sorry. No, that's not been my thing. He's like, we all know the routine. No one is afraid to show their faces, but catfish. And I go, I'm a catfish now. And then I wrote, I thought I was James Todd Frank, the incel pizza man. Jesus, I live a wild life. And he goes, and this is where I ended up blocking him. And he goes, you live a boring, weird life where you obsessed over me for like 10 years and even went from long hair to my exact haircut. Like this all went from like funny and kind of zany and goofy to, holy shit, this guy actually thinks I'm a real person. Like this guy thinks that I'm this person from Texas. I'm not going to say anything anymore to like piss him off about this guy from Texas. Last thing I want to see on the news is like some man working at Little Caesars ends up getting offed by somebody else, and I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this alone, right?
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and I'm reading this, I'm like, what the hell? And like he made this comment. This is before. This one is before, and he goes. He wrote, none of us did until a lot of the cool kids from ESO actually caught on and exposed you as well. I think it was you copy and pasting too many ideas, James, but hey, it's a whole new world for you, and I learned how to stalk from the best in the game. So clearly stalking this James guy and myself. And I write, so I've been doxed and exposed now. Holy shit, it's so over for me. Good game, time to move on. Well, that was already posted. And so that happened January. All this happened either December or January. And since then, I've shared this with Ill Fated here, but all this was like, I was worried about this James Frank guy that I went on Google to try and find this person and let them know that somebody doesn't like them. And so turns out that the spelling is way off and some of the parts of the name are off, which is good. We'll just leave it at that. But I sat here and I'm just like, okay, I'm sharing this with my moderators, and it's become a running joke in my Discord for like 7 months, where on my Discord, I am James Frank DeCaso. I am Pizza Mogul, where like we just have our own story, where I run all of the pizza industry in the world. We have John Spaghetti there, who's part of the spaghetti industry. We have our own Italian hitmen and everything, and it's just been a good time. Like we've just goofed around.
That's
with it, like,
hilarious,
yeah,
dude.
It's so it's gotten like
my name. Give me a name.
Oh, you can be part of the DeCaso gang.
Hell yeah!
You can be the the main man.
I'm the
if
guy
you
on
want.
the inside. Yeah, I'm literally the guy on the inside, dude.
Yeah, you should be the actual main character. I'll just be like your right hand man, since I'm the alt anyways. So I think that only makes sense.
Don't say that while I'm drinking shit, dude. Almost died.
So all this happened like 7 months ago, and this happened this last weekend on like Thursday. And so when this happened, this is once again from my friend Blap, who streams ESL on Twitch, by the way. You guys should go check him out. Feel free to, if you think these sorts of things are interesting. But the Sinless guy joined his channel to talk. And he's like, I'm not dealing with this guy. Like, I've already had issues with him. I know who he is. I'm going to block him. I'm going to block him right away. And so he blocked him right away. He's like, I'm not dealing with this guy. And so Sinless didn't like this. And he wrote, bro, I drop you on your head, you catfish stalker. Mute me because you're literally scared of me in real life. Run your mouth, bitch. I'm coming for Frank. Frank's me, guys. Frank is me. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, what the hell did I do? Like, we talked 7 months ago. Like, how am I still involved in this? So yeah, I'm coming for Frank.
You are living rent free, dude.
It's crazy.
I'm living vicariously through you.
And so all this is happening is like, you're gonna get what you retards have been talking. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I'll be honest, like the James Frank DeCaso thing has taken on a life of its own, but it's not taken a life of its own like, hey, this guy's an idiot. We're making fun of this idiot for coming up with this. It's just, yeah, it's evolved into its own lore. And so all this happened, and it's kind of funny because last week, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm just going to briefly show this. But yeah, a man tried to bludgeon another man in real life with a hammer over Arcage. If you guys haven't seen this story, two people got in a very serious argument online, and a guy flew down to Florida and went to a hardware store to get a hammer, wore all black clothes, snuck into this guy's house and attacked him with a hammer as he was going to the bathroom after gaming. Ends up not hurting him. Well, he hurt him, but he ended up, not accomplishing his goal. The guy that attacked him gets apprehended. He's now being charged with second-degree attempted murder for what happened. And so when I read this story last week, I'm like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the James Frank DeCaso pizza story. And so I'm like, this is kind of crazy. And then Blap sends me these screenshots like the next day. This is like 2 to 3 days later, where he's like, I'm coming for Frank. And it's like, okay, great. Am I getting in real life PvP'd? Like, am I gonna have like in real life invasion style PvP? Yeah, like am I gonna get ganked in real life over I don't know what the hell is happening? This is crazy, right? And so all of this happened, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So I talked about it on a podcast I did last Tuesday, and then all of a sudden, this is where things kind of intermingle. But on Saturday, I get pinged by Ill Fated. So he sends me a message on Twitter, and he's like, hey man, I just want to let you know this guy thinks that I'm you and you're me. And I'm like, and I'm reading it, and like, you guys have drawn together all these conclusions, but you have to understand from our perspective, I didn't know that these two people, this Not a Chad and this other account on YouTube, were the same people until 7 months ago. I didn't know there was this James person that actually worked at a pizza place until 3 days ago. And so all this is connecting, and I'm reading like what's going on, and I'm like, and I'm back reading the conversation. I'm like, holy shit, there's another side of the story. There is another person that he thinks I am. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, okay, this isn't about me. Like, he just thinks I'm this other person. It's about this person, and it has nothing to do with me. And so, should I? 1 second here. So yeah, so this is all happened from my perspective, and so there are a ton of messages. You guys can feel free to go check it out if you want to read all of it. I mean, it's we've basically, I think, shared about just about everything.
Oh my god, the brain rot thread's just taking over the feed, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, so he comments, and so this is Ill-Fated, who's in chat, by the way. Obviously not me. Like, so Fated, I think you and I right now, we should talk at the same time to prove that we're not the same person changing a dial.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. And so the guy that just did that, he tagged me in this, and he goes, "I'm blocking because I found his socials." And then he tagged me, and he goes, "This guy's convinced I'm you because we have matching voices."
Do you still have him blocked, by the way? Because like I kind of want him to catch the stream.
I have him blocked on YouTube, but not on Twitch. But yeah, he can sign on to a different account.
Multicasting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Do you even know who that is? Seen him in games? Yeah. I know who Sinless is. Like, we played on Xbox together. Like, well, not together, but like we played against each other like 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, so
I'm more familiar with Sinless than he is. He was somebody I played with. I don't know if anybody's tuning in now. That's a little bit late, but he was my practice noob back in Halo 3 when I was competing. That's where I know Sinless. So he's a little bit more of on the friendly basis with me. I do consider him a friend. I do think he needs professional help. To be clear and air that out, this isn't to like make fun of him. This is just kind of like, hopefully he sees this stream or sees this content and realizes like, oh man, maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe this just puts all the hate on me and no one else is no longer involved, and he just comes after me, and I find you find me dead next week. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, dude.
So this happened on Twitter, and it's funny because you just posted like a Hawk Tua comment, so I'm like back reading what's going on, and this RGJ goes, "They're not ready for this," and this apparently is also this guy. This is not a Chad, Tommy Two Guns. He goes, "From one veteran to another, this guy Ill-Fated is no friend to service members and is a stalker, doxer. He loves befriending military people for some reason, probably because he spent his entire life in fast food." And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this sounds like the guy. And Jay goes, 100% not true. He's been a good friend to me for a while now. And then he goes, "I'm the entire reason he has 2 names." And I was like, okay. And so, yeah, you want to go into this? You can feel free to share your perspective on this, because I've been talking for a bit.
Sorry, I was reading
You're
chat.
good.
Say one more time.
So we're gotten to the point to where you've unblocked this guy and you wanted to talk to him on Twitter.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, all this stuff before that you're reading right now says, "I like to post the evidence you have." So my whole perspective on this was when he was first coming at me, and I was like, "Hey, I want you to post the evidence that you have," because like at first, like I'm at this point where you're at right here, I'm convinced that you're a made up individual. It wasn't until he posted, I got him to post a video, because like I was trying to get him to post something so that way I can find your socials. That was kind of my game I was trying to play. So when he finally posted your YouTube, I was like, I got something I can dig into you and try to find out. Okay, I blocked you because you didn't respond to an Xbox message. You're obsessed and weird as hell. I was willing to let it go, but you haven't created this whole made up thing. Get help, because I genuinely think like he thinks I'm this made up person, and this person doesn't exist, and he genuinely needs help. To kind of segue into the whole point of the stream, I do know PTSD is very real, guys. And I really think his brain is pulling things out of the air. And I do know he was let go from the military for mental health issues, and so he's like on 100% disability. That stuff I do know is a fact. I'm sorry, I'm not standing right in front of him, kind of leaning off to the side.
Oh, you're good.
So, I do know that stuff is kind of a fact. So I do know he's on disability. I do know he was released from the military because he has mental health issues, and mental health issues are a very real thing for our veterans. And in the kind of the point of the stream, I kind of let no one else know I'm kind of going on to this kind of help out a friend, because at the end of the day, this guy was my friend, and I do think he is going through something where he needs genuine help. I do think he needs to reach out to somebody his brain trusts, so that way he can get the help that he needs, because this isn't okay. And I don't want him to do something because his brain's convinced him to do that thing, because like he doesn't know what's real anymore. So I'm genuinely concerned for his well-being. All this stuff being said is kind of funny, but it's also very serious because I know his history. So I do want to make that known before, as I dive into my side of the story. So at this point, he says you literally made an account, started calling yourself Frank before your build videos had even a single view. The intent was to harass and stalk me like you did forever long during the Halo days. So at this point, I know that this Frank guy, based off that statement, this Frank guy is a real person. I don't know who it is, but it's somebody. So I was like, please just talk it out with me, because I can't tell if you're trolling or not. Generally, build videos to what? Yeah. So at this point, I'm trying to play the game of trying to get him to post something.
Yeah. So my perspective on this, I started making videos back in 2017, 3 years before I ever had an interaction with this guy.
That's when I stopped streaming. That's kind of ironic. Like, I stopped streaming in 2017.
Oh no. Oh no. So it's true. Oh, no. You stopped streaming and then a YouTube account emerges. Come on, man.
Yeah. So maybe, so maybe that's where he's on that line then.
I'm starting to question this. I'm on this side and I'm starting to question this. So.
Like, I was legit in bed. Like, I was legit going to sleep at night before I met no one. Was like, am I doing this stuff in my sleep? Like, I was starting to like believe the gaslight a little bit, and was like, am I really this Frank guy? And I'm going to sleep, because I do sleepwalk. So I was like, honey, am I sleepwalking? Am I creating content in my sleep?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yeah, go ahead.
Continue.
No, go ahead.
Says,
continue
your
on.
channel is, your channel is no one else. The guy sounds exactly like you. No one, but I don't even know what Invictum is. I'm assuming it's a guild. Yeah,
It's a guild.
There, guild. Literally came to me to tell me that you're stalking me, Zakaya, Iconic, and Tavachi. We all talked about it in detail and had a laugh about it. And I was at this point, I was like, this guy genuinely believes this. So I'm trying to like convince him, like, I don't play this game. I can't entertain like an Elder Scrolls game to like save my life. What is going on? So
yeah,
he says, yeah, well, any real person that plays video games in the last few years can easily, like, obviously Frank here has a much more luscious voice than I do. Like, let's get that out of the way. Let's be real. Frank here has a much more soothing radio show voice. I have a nostril closed, speaking from Texas voice, as Hollywood put it. Thanks, Holly.
I don't know. So I think we sound the exact same. I think we're the same person now.
Right.
So.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this back and right. You're me and I'm you. This is like Inception stuff. So anyway,
yeah.
So I ask him to link me. I was like, please, like, the whole point of me even entertaining this conversation is to get you to give me something so I can find this guy and find out what's going on. Like, I want you to link me. So, which he did. If you scroll down, he linked me.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You're good. So I got him to link me, and at that point, I go on a witch hunt to find no one else. Turns out there's a number in his name, so go fuck me, I guess. Is there no one with a 3 and not an E? So that's why I was having such a difficult time trying to find him the first time. So I was like, who is this guy? So that's kind of where, like, I kind of like went through it. From this point onwards, I kind of like had fun with it because I wasn't getting through to him. So sure. I just had fun with it. None of this stuff from this point forward is me trying to be genuine. It's just me trying to get his blood pumped. Like, I shouldn't have done that knowing the situation. I agree that I'm at fault for that. But like me and my lady at that point were just laying in bed just having a laugh about it because like I couldn't get through to him. So
yeah. No, I totally get it. And so he tagged this and he goes, so this was your downfall as the ESO community because you were trying to steal someone else's bit. So for those of you guys that don't know, a long time ago, I did the top 5 PvP battles for like 5 or 6 months. And my friend that was doing them was like, hey man, I'm moving on to other content. You should do it. And I was like, are you sure? And he goes, absolutely. And then when the person that did it before him came back, I messaged him and I basically like, it's right here. So I'm friends with Kuro. I talked to Kuro and he told me to take over. And then when Christopher came back, I messaged him and I was like, hey, like if you want this, you should have it back. And this is back in 2022. So I just want to like clear the air. Like I'm not stealing I'm not stealing this content, guys. I'm not going to admit to other content I've stolen or have not stolen, but this stuff specifically, I actually have a store, like a proof here. And he's like, good to hear from you. He's like, honestly, I feel bad taking the top 5 away from you. So all this is a lie. Though the point is like everything he said has been either manufactured. It's all been manufactured and made up. And I don't know if he believes it or if he's saying it just to piss people off. I don't know what the goal is. I don't know what the end game is. I don't know this person very well.
Ignore me trying to ag it on down at the bottom. Ignore that. Just black that out.
Yeah. And so we talked about this and yeah, so he tagged me and I was like, I've been annoyed with this because he said I was going to get what I have coming to me. Like he threatened me. And I'm like, yeah, the guy's a moron.
He threatened me too. That's why I was annoyed with it. That's why I kind of started playing with it because he said, quote, I'm going to run your face into the pavement. So I was like, oh, good. So now he's threatening me.
Yeah, so I called him a moron and I was like, hey man, congrats on the great voice. I will just say, guys, like I don't get commented or complimented on my editing or my video making, but people are like, dude, like your voice is pretty good. And I was like, okay, well, this guy's got a great voice too. That's awesome. Like it's a nice thing to have is what I'm trying to say. And so, yeah, so we talked a little bit and this is how Ill-Fated and I got talking. Oh, there's just so much in here. There's so much going on. And, yeah. And so like this guy is basically, and so I will say this, the funniest thing that he did is this. So as I'm talking to Ill-Fated on Twitch or on Twitter, he's posting this guy incognito meme, which look, I'm not happy with what's going on. I don't like that, like he's thinking I'm this other person and I'm getting threats and he's getting threats. I don't like any of this stuff, but I recognize a good meme. And I was like, this is pretty good. Like if you really think there were 2 people talking to each other on a Twitter account, like this is pretty good.
I think it's more hilarious than anything that he was wholly convinced that we were talking to ourselves. Like that's the part that got me. I was like, because when he started posting that meme, I was like, there's no way he thinks I'm switching back and forth on an account. Like I'm a whole father of 2 that's sinking time into D2, which is a time sink in itself. I don't have time to create content on a totally different game, let alone take care of 2 kids and entertain my, like, you know, a significant other. Like nobody has that kind of time. Like, I'd be single. Like,
yeah,
that's the point I was trying to drive home to him, dude. I was like, I have 2 kids. I'm 31 years old. I don't care about sinking that, like, entertaining this. Like, this is so beneath me. But like, the only reason why I even entertained this as long as I did is because of he was a friend to me. And I do genuinely think he needs help. That's the only reason why I entertained it for as long as I feel like I should have. Or shouldn't have, whatever. Wrong, trying to figure out the words there.
So here's the other thing is I also have 2 kids. So it's pretty clear that we're the same person. Like we have the same voice. We have the same voice. You stopped Twitch streaming in 2017. I started a YouTube channel in 2017. We both have 2 kids. Like all these dots are connecting. And guys, like I haven't posted any of these on my social media account.
I can see why he's pulling it. I can see how he's pulling it. I can see where his brain's connecting it, but like I just don't understand how he's connecting. I see how, like, does that make sense? I see how he's connecting the dots, but I don't understand how he's finalizing the dots. Like, I don't know where in his brain he's like, this is it. This is it. We got him. Like how? Like I don't understand.
How does this guy think you sound the same? I don't know. Like, and he made a comment. Like I was sharing some of this with a few friends, and they dug into his Twitter history, and they found like he was tagging you quite a bit. And he's like, yeah. And so they posted your Twitch account where you had like like 1,500 followers, over 1,000 followers. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, it's kind of weird that you have this Twitch account and then you made a whole new Twitch account. And it's like, dude, that's not something people do. Like, it's hard to like add followers on Twitch. Why would he create a whole new? Like, why would he create a whole new Twitch account? And so when you start poking holes in all
rebranding
this,
is the worst thing to do. Like in the middle of trying to like, unless you're already established, rebranding is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, and I actually had to rebrand for the thing that you said about finding my name on YouTube. So I actually had to do that, but. And I did that recently, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough to go through, and it's kind of funny because like everything that we have said so far, we're what, 55 minutes into this. This is, I mean, for you, this is like 8 years of information, 9 years, somewhere around there, right? And for me, it's 4 years, and
it would have been since 2008 because like I was competing in 2009, 2008 ish.
Okay, so
within
15.
that realm.
So 15 years for you.
So.
Okay.
But like the thing is where he stated different timelines. He stated like 20 years, which would have made me 11 at the time, which is hella weird. But even then, like 15 years, like I still would have been a minor, dude. Like this guy I know was getting deployed at the time. Like I was making him my practice dummy. I think I want to say he was like 18, 19 when I was like actually like, you know, getting games in with him and like talking to him like. You know, I remember him telling me like he was scared to get deployed and go over to Afghanistan at the time. So like I remember those conversations being 16 years old. I remember those conversations. So he was deployed in Afghanistan. He went away for a little bit. He came back, and I don't know if he ever tried to reach out to me in that time frame. I do know he tried to reach out to me in 2019 because like that's when all this stuff started like blowing up in my face. So
this is where we're gonna poke a hole in all this. But I got my DD 214 in 2009. Yeah, 2009, or maybe it was. Sorry, I'm trying to do the math here. I got my DD 214 in 2011. I finished my active service in 2009, and so I did my 6 years. My 6 years came up in 2009, and so I was actually in the National Guard a long ass time ago. I actually.
You know what'd be even wilder, dude, is if like you were training him. Or like
that would be crazy.
Like you find out you guys are in the same platoon. That would be even more wild.
But yeah, he was talking about how like this guy's bad to veterans and everything, and I'm like, my man, I'm a fucking veteran. Okay, like I just want like I have nothing but respect for veterans and everything. Like I understand like the things that go on with getting aid and getting help and everything. I'm reading this and I'm like, dude, you just. I don't know if he's just trying to piss people off or if he's literally just connecting dots that aren't there.
That's why, like that's where I started thinking, like, I thought he was trolling at the beginning and trying to cancel me, but as I started asking him questions of, you know, exploratory questions, I started connecting the dots myself. I was like, this guy genuinely needs help. Yeah. But that said, like, does he not know how the internet works or how communities or sub-communities work? Because, like, there are going to be other veterans other than himself. Like that's what blew me away about his statement. It's like I just happened to I made friends here with Jay Fatal who happened to be in the military. Just like I'm befriending you, and you just happen to be in the military. It's not like I'm going around like, hey, you're in the military. Nope, can't be friends with you. It's not like I'm doing that, dude. That's freaking weird. Like nobody in their right mind brings that up in initial conversation before they start talking. Like, are you in the military? Oh, can't be friends with you. Like that's weird. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah, it's so the entire thing's been weird. But yeah, we have just condensed like 15 years of lore. You said, I think, and maybe you've shared it all, but you kind of hinted that there was other parts of the story that you were going to reveal, like that there was like a third person potentially.
So I was kind of digging a little bit, and it turns out Frank on PC was you, or
okay.
So like I thought that was somebody else.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was gonna dive into that a little bit, but like I kind of figured that out towards like before the live stream and reviewing all my notes. I kind of connected all those dots before you went live. I was like, oh, never mind, it's him. So it's just one person. He has told me there's like 2 other identities. What he hasn't told me what those identities are. So that's kind of, like I don't know, but I'm sure if this doesn't make him turn around, I'm sure they'll kind of pop up on my Twitter or whatever. I did unblock him on Twitter, so hopefully he, sees the going live tweet. Because I did pretend I was you. I was like, going live, and I posted your link. So,
let me go see this.
I did go do that.
Oh, that's good stuff. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I went. So I was like, going live, and then I posted your YouTube. I was like, fuck, wrong guy. So I was trying to like play into it, but
yeah. So I don't know if Dalrook is still in here. He's in the chat. Dalrook's is potentially still in the guild where everybody like called me Frank. It's just a running joke. So Dal, if you're in here, you could confirm what I'm talking about. But people can't say or spell my name. Instead of saying, "Hey, is there no one else?" Everybody just said, "All right, you're Frank," and so people just call me Frank on Xbox.
That's fair.
And,
like on a dime call out, like calling you Frank is way better than calling you.
Oh yeah, like Frank, we're going over here.
Yeah, like
exactly.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah. And so I copied that, and then on ESO on PC, I was Frank on PC because I couldn't come up with a better name, and I just thought that'd be funny. But yeah, so like this is why it's devolved, I guess, because I did the worst thing and changed my account name, and so yeah, I changed my account name, which is just a awful, terrible thing to do. It makes you a hacker, cheater, stalker person. So yeah,
or even worse, you're parading around as yourself somehow. I don't know, dude. Like when I rebranded, everybody thought I was like standing myself, but not really myself.
Oh, sure.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, so that was kind of weird.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna head out.
I followed you on YouTube, and I just came in and followed your Twitch. So I should have retweeted your Twitch because like that's the most commonplace, but like I didn't realize that you were. I couldn't find your Twitch. I found your YouTube. I didn't find your Twitch. So I just found your Twitch, and I should have tweeted that out because that he probably would have seen that. But whatever.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And I've thought about doing like a long form video on this, not to like expose him, and you guys can tell me what you guys think as well. But like, mental health is a serious thing. And I don't know if it's ever going to devolve into that where like he would strongly consider actually taking this out in public, but online, on video games, on social media, it's not the same thing. And like throwing your life away over some nonsense like this, especially like in this situation, just manufactured nonsense, like completely made up fictional bullshit, it'd just be really sad. It'd be really sad for everybody involved.
Yeah. I just that's part of the reason why I went into the stream, because like I told no one before we went into this, like mental health is a real thing, and I do know this guy, he served, and I know he is facing issues, and I genuinely want him to find help. Like if he catches this stream or catches the rerun, or if Frank here decides he wants to, condense a video and upload it on YouTube, I genuinely hope he sees it, or at least rewatches the VOD. So that way he can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on, and he finds somebody that he trusts and gets help. Because he may be threatening me, he may be doing this, but I know it's not necessarily him, but this made up perception of me that his brain has made up of himself. So yeah. I think that's a lot where this is coming from, and I know it's not him. I know it's not from a place of hate, and I genuinely like. Even if you're not a veteran, like if you're struggling with mental health, like seek help. Like there's people that genuinely like want, like there are genuine people out there that do not like aren't pieces of shit that want you to seek the help that you need to get better. Like that's
exactly.
Generally what this is about. So, but
else was else all along. Who knew? I know, it's crazy. I feel like most people knew that I was me and Faded was Faded.
I feel so much better knowing that I'm not making content in my sleep as Frank.
Yeah,
I'm glad we had this conversation.
I'm just shocked that like I said, like this has been going on for a year for me, and I was shocked that there was another person, because I didn't understand how I was getting like this type of vitriol, right? Like I never talked to the guy. So like, how did you work up this type of angst over years where I didn't talk to you and I wasn't playing on the same game? And now like it makes at least a little bit more sense if he thinks that I'm another person that he's been talking to for years. Like at least I get that perspective. I at least understand like, okay, there's more of a backstory than me not responding to him on Xbox, right? And so I'm connecting these dots. I'm like, okay, there's actually way more information than I expected, and I genuinely didn't think there was another person on the other side.
I didn't either, dude. Like when he kept throwing no one, I was like, and when I first did my first investigation, I found a picture of myself and his name attached as "Is there no one?" And it's not like we're trying to dox him. Like I know there is a name attached to that deal, but that's the only way you guys are gonna be able to validate. Like it's not him, it's not Frank, it's not me, it's genuinely him. Like I know we had to leave that information in there in order to even make this, which is unfortunate. We're not trying to dox him, so please don't send him any sort of hate. Please don't go his way and start antagonizing him. He doesn't deserve that. He's still a human being. But when I went to go look at the "Is There No One" account on Xbox, all I could find was that account, that screenshot with my face on it and his name attached. And I was like, oh, it's this guy. That's crazy. He's parading as me as this other guy. Like he's just trying to cancel me. I did not think there was an actual other player named "Is There No One Else." I did not think that. So I was like, oh, that's the end of that investigation. And I didn't, it wasn't until like he kept tweeting at me for the past 2 or 3 months and I finally bit like this past weekend that I was like, maybe there is somebody else out there. And that's kind of where me and Frank here kind of met up. So.
Yeah. Well, and just to give you guys an example, if you click onto his account, this is what's been going on the last few days. So talk on hot and ready pizzas. These hands are hot and ready for you. So
yeah, he's legit like going crazy and like tweeting into the void.
Yeah.
Like he tweeted at you. He added at you. He's been like retweeting my tweet, like subtweets.
Yeah. So he tweeted at ill-fated here and then tweeted at me, James, you do all this but not put down the Doritos and Mountain Dew. Being attractive will do more than 1,000 personalities, but I'm sorry, you're so insane. I don't know what happened to you. And I'm sitting over here and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with Doritos and Mountain Dew? But yeah, regardless. And he's like, it's crazy how ill-fated knows all these ESO PvP content creators. At one point,
I only learned about the other creators through no one. I have never played the game, and if no one, I've even extended myself to no one. Like maybe he'll see me around more. I don't know it, but if he wants to teach me how to play ESO and get me involved in ESO a little bit, like I'm open to the idea. Like and sure. Likewise, I've extended my invitation over to him if he wants to learn how to play Destiny 2 and get involved with the raids, the end game. Like hit me up. Let's get gaming, dude. So
sure.
Maybe like the VA. Do they take pings like that? Would they look into it if we ping the VA?
I have no idea. I've never tried to. Maybe reaching out to them might not be the worst idea. I don't know. Like it feels weird, like that you're infringing that too far in, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if they have a Twitter or they'd even read into it, but like, sure. I don't know how serious they take online inquiries and if they aren't self inquiries or close relative inquiries. I don't know how serious those things are for the VA.
Yep. But yeah, he's up like even here. This is yesterday. He's pinging ZeniMax Online Studios, which is ESO's account, talking about how we have the worst community because we're doing all these things. I know he pinged Destiny for you as well, like talking about Destiny 2 and stuff. And it's like, dude, you need to ping Twitch as well. Like, there it is, Destiny the game. Yeah. So he's pinging games. Like he's just literally trying to get attention, trying to talk shit, but also trying to like piss people off and get games to ban them because they're doing bad things. It's so weird. Like the entire thing is really weird. Yeah.
And I did kind of lose my cool there at the end. I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll play your game. So I kind of went into it and I shouldn't have done that. I agree with that. But like when you're being harassed for years on end by some other guy, you're going to have moments where you kind of snap, especially when you have have a 3-year-old toddler kind of edging your patience as well in the background as well. Like,
Yeah.
you just kind of lose it all, dude.
Yep. No, I totally get it. My kids are a little older now, but the 3-year newborn was a blur for me. Two was hard. Three was hard. I mean, they're all hard. But yeah, it's just
like my 2-year-old he had fantastic twos. Like, he was such a sweetheart. But now that he's 3 and he's really challenging what he can or can't do, and he is really pushing my patience as a parent. So like I am trying to approach everything with the hand of kindness, but man, dude.
Yeah, it gets tough for sure. So do we have anything else to share about the situation? I don't think we do.
I don't think so, man. I just I hope he finds help that he needs.
Yeah,
that's generally like my end game for even doing this stream. Like, yeah, it was fun to talk about. Yeah, it was kind of fun to entertain the lore, but at the end of the day, I want him to find the help that he needs, because like I don't want him to think like I'm out to get him. I don't want him to think like I'm out to be his enemy. I don't want him to, like, whatever image his brain has created of me, I'm not that, and I hope he realizes that, and I hope he realizes that no one is, or Frank is not also like that. So like, very obviously, like, we went into this like before we pretext before you even went live, that because he didn't know that he served in the military. Frank didn't know. He just knew that he was coming at him sideways for something that I did allegedly. He didn't know that Frank was not Frank, but he thought Frank was me. And so he's coming at Frank thinking he's me, and he doesn't have the inside knowledge about Eric that I do. So going into this, I kind of pre-gamed with him, letting him know, like, hey, he's not inherently a bad person, but I do think his brain's drawing some, dead ends and making him believe that these things are happening. So at the end of the day, I do hope that he finds the help that he needs.
Yeah, no, me too. And my goal with this is I want to get a few things out there. I will not be doing a stream like this again in the future. Like, I've been doing YouTube and Twitch for like 7 years now. This is the first time this has ever happened. I let this go for over a year. And the only reason I bring this up is because I found out that there was another side to the story. And so this is a very unique instance in this specific situation that I don't think will ever be replicated in a similar way. I'm about to say, to be fair, like, people in the streaming space, they do experience some weird things and weirdos like that. That does happen. That comes with the territory. Like, but this is definitely outside the norm. Yeah.
And I think the only reason why, like, it even gained attraction was because this guy convinced himself that it was he was me and I was him. Like, that's no other way to put it. I think under any other circumstance, like, I think, like, most content creators, they just kind of like, okay, whatever, and ignore it, because, like, that's the best thing you can do. And that's kind of like what we were doing. We were ignoring it, and that's the only reason why it went on for a year. Or a little over a year, because like we kind of like, okay, whatever, this guy's weird, and moved on with our life. And it wasn't until like I found out he was actually genuinely believing that I was this guy named No One, that I decided I wanted to like reach out and like try to square away some things, for not necessarily for my sake or Frank's sake, but his sake. That's kind of like what I was trying to do, is kind of like square away things for him, not necessarily myself or Frank, because I could just let this go. It doesn't affect me none. It doesn't affect him none. I could have moved on with my life. But that's kind of what I was going on.
Well, I mean, that's what I've mostly done. And the only reason I engaged on Twitter was because I didn't realize that there's another person. And when there was another person, when there was another, like, guys, we've all dealt with BS from people. I block, I mute, I ignore people. They're like, that's not going to get my attention. But the fact that this is like a crazy, like, one of the wildest, easily debunkable conspiracies ever, like that's what caught my attention, was like, okay, this is really dumb, but it's really interesting because it's been going on for like 3 years now.
No, dude, and the fact, real, like this is wild.
and so that's why this one is more unique, is because it just keeps randomly popping up every 6 months. And I thought he was on a cadence to where it was like he would message me for attention and then he'd reach out to somebody else, and then when he reached out to all the people he was trying to reach out to, he would then come back to me and try again. Like, that's what I thought was going on at first. I didn't realize like this is just what it is. So thanks for this. I figured
something was flaring up his anger and just taking it out on me and bringing up no one. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Quit bringing up your imaginary friend. And then it was you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah. Holly says, thank you for the stream, else now you guys have to play each other's game one day. We'll try to do that. I need to beat Elden Ring. So I still need to beat the new DLC. And then after that, like, yeah, I'd be down. But I'm just focusing on that first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be fun.
For sure.
But yeah, guys,
you want to you go and close out? I'm going to go ahead and mute out. I'll mute up and I'll tell everybody. Good night, everybody. Pleasure meeting you.
Thanks for stopping in, dude.
For having me. You can go and close out. I'll back out of here. I'll talk to you later.
All right, dude. Take it easy. But yeah, guys, we're just gonna end it there. That's the story that has happened. As far as I know it, there's just a bunch of stuff that I didn't know. So it was good to get the other side of the perspective. Like I said, I hope that kind of clears the air that I'm not running 2 Twitter accounts and I'm not running 2 Twitch accounts, and I don't have 2 different families in 2 different states, and I have 4 kids in 2 different states. I think I hope this has been cleared that we are 2 separate people. I hope that has been at least confirmed. But regardless, we're going to end the stream here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tomorrow we will talk Ashes of Creation with Nice Gaming, for those of you guys that are tuning in from that. And then we'll just continue Elden Ring stuff. We'll continue streaming Elden Ring later this week. Quite the rabbit hole, what a journey. Like unwrapping all this for me was crazy. So never heard you both speak at the same time. That's good. But yeah, I'm just gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it.